So, the way the bracket is going to work today, we have Sauron versus Dionis as the first game, Steelsane versus Curse as the second game. Then the winner of both will play to get an overall upper bracket winner. Then whoever loses in the first round will go to the first part of the loser bracket and play a best of three to move on to the second round of the loser bracket, who will play whoever lost in the second round of the upper. And then we have our two players who will advance. If I understand the format correctly, I believe I do. Believe I do. Okay. Cool. Alright, we got Sauron versus Dionis as our first game here. Let's see if there's anything particularly interesting coming up in the packs. Interestingly enough, absolutely no Fire Badgers, even between 8 packs. What are the odds? Alright, cost control coming in for Dionis. Very cool. We got some Marksman, got some Tarantulas. Sauron taking Aerial Specialist with the Sabers and Arclights. Let me just line all this up. Whoa. And we've been doing to like here. Yeah, I like this spot. Alright, cool. Cool. Looking at the map. Couple layout of these buildings does mean aggro is possible, technically on both sides, as long as you have something that can clear the wall quickly. I don't think Saber Arclight's particularly quick at clearing the wall. Tarantulas can get through it okay. But looks like Dionis is going for a center standard deploy, and Sauron's doing an asymmetrical standard. Couple of fangs getting picked up for Sauron, and a couple of crawlers for Dionis. Nothing too strange coming out so far. Dionis had grabbed the sell button. I guess they undid that, changed their mind. You know, I feel like unless you're playing some hyper aggro stuff, you know, really deploying on the line, you don't need to sell anything in the first round. You just wait to the second. So you guys have anything strange on their tech bars? So we actually have AP on Dionis's Tarantulas. No HE. Ooh, very fast +1 defense. Oh yeah, cost control. So I would have to imagine Sauron has a little bit of an advantage this round, just with how good Sabers are into both Tarantulas and Marksman. And you can see that Tarantula left a little high and dry early. Marksman get a few extra shots because of the wall and do end up managing to take out one of the Sabers with the help of the anti-armor cannon. That should be Sauron clearing this round. Clearing up, cleaning up, clearing out. Words and expressions. How fun. Alright, packs coming in. I would be pretty surprised if the Hounds got picked up for either players. Wasp and Phantom Ray seem like the obvious choices to me. Ooh, Dionis actually going for the Void Eyes. I'm a little bit interested in this, given how they already have Marksman set up, but, you know, some extra early DPS to actually help get through the Sabers, right? Before the Marksmen start getting some levels, they struggle a little. Does this count as a deep flank? Here, I think this does. It's like the top third, right? That's like a deep flank of Crawler. Really just looking for some distraction there. Well, we got Wasps from Sauron. Range AA EMP shield. Very cool. Very nice. Oh, I meant to check. What did he not have? So he doesn't have anti-missile on the Sabers. Just a big old chaff round for both players. Makes sense. No one's looking to sell out of their turrets quite yet. Although, Dionis bought the sell button and didn't sell anything? Did I miss? No. Interesting. Okay. So we'll have to see how the Wasp line up here, as opposed to the Void Eyes. Theoretically, the Void Eyes can help DPS through, but we're just not seeing the chaff clear from Dionis, right? And that Tarantula's getting left out high and dry and just getting popped by the sabers so fast, you know, it doesn't matter that he bought extra DPS, it's just not even connecting to its targets. Subsidized Arclight, very cool, very cool. Doubt it's gonna get clicked. Redeploy makes sense. Elite Mustang, maybe, but probably not. Feels early for something like that. So yeah, redeploy for both players makes a lot of sense. Ooh, very fast Vulcan from our cost control player. Very cool. Saber level. Saber level on round 2. Solid tempo coming in. Small turret getting sold off for Dionis, who has moved their one remaining Tarantula to answer what was a deep flank before those crawlers got pulled back. We see Dionis starting with these forward fangs. I've become a big fan of having a row or two of fangs like in front of giants when playing standard, but especially when the other player has to kind of move into you, right? Like Sauron's board as is, just with the sabers, needs to move into Dionis, so anything to slow that down seems pretty strong. Seems pretty strong, you know? Forward crawler, yeah, this looks like a beacon crawler. Ooh, saber. Sold the anti-armor cannon for that. Okay, so Dionis wants to drag everything into the Vulcan. It makes a lot of sense. It's really going to help. You know, it's just, that's Dionis' PowerPoint on the board here, right? That's their chaff clear. This is an interesting play. I haven't made a ton of use out of just, like, movement beacons like this, trying to drag the opponent's army. Definitely weakness in my game. I should be practicing. So let's see how this goes now that they have actual chaff clear. Or rather, now the chaff clear isn't getting one shot right at the start, basically. So it looks like even with the addition of the Vulcan, it's still dying just a little too quickly, and we're still having a problem getting the DPS to actually connect onto those sabers. Well, not a bad tower timing, but even debuff to saber apparently just crushes a marksman. Makes some sense. And we got another solid little round of Sauron, just taking these little chips of Dionis. If Sauron's not going to go into giants or something bigger themselves, you'd hope they would start doing a little bit more damage. We'll see, we'll see. Oil coming in for Dionis. Very cool. Very, very cool. Portable shield picked up for both players. Locations make a lot of sense. There's the second Vulcan, just to round that out. And a whole bunch more sabers. Still no upgrades on them, going up to... Oh, sorry, that was one more saber and another Arclight. Kind of surprised no saber upgrades yet, but I guess the money's just a little thin. Just a little. Curious if they're going to sell the small turret now that they got an Arclight over there. Yeah. Given the saber investment, I'm expecting range on the sabers next round. If you're playing them in standard, I mean, you pretty much got it, right? How much has this middle anti-armor cannon been doing for Dionis? 13k? Yeah, I can see why they're keeping it around. That ain't bad. You have your best partner, Ignite, and Incendiary. Not actually running Scorch. Not running Scorch at all. Interesting. Marksman moved to the outside. Gonna be a little bit more in line with that saber. Might end up being a decent oil landing uncontested, and there's the light. Oh, there's the light. There's the light. So, all of the Sauron's chaff are gone, except for these wasps, which are just locking up the marksman maybe a little bit longer than we would like, but on the left-hand side here, Dionis pushing through again. With this tower rebuff and a level 2 marksman, yes, There we go. We're actually getting some cleanup and a nice round by Dionis. As the small unit player, you don't like to see it. You don't like to see the giant player starting to win rounds, starting to take back some of that tempo. Ooh, Overlord, Worm, Wraith, Ray. I'd be surprised if the Wraith gets picked up for either player. I'd imagine it's Sandworm for Sauron. Makes a lot of sense. I don't think it makes sense unless Dionis is going to sell it. I think the true Phantom Rays is the best sell if you're just going for money, right? You don't actually lose the 100 purchasing the giant, or 200. This thing is only worth... Yeah, actually, no. Sandworm and Overlord are both worth 300, but these guys are worth 4. Just takes an extra turn to sell. Both players really taking their time. Dionis picking up the Overlord and Sauron for the Phantom Rays. We'll see if they actually play the Rays. It does seem playable. Could also see a sell in just investing in Saber Techs. Looks like they are choosing to keep the Phantom Rays on the board. Alright, so diversifying their DPS a bit. And it looks like Dionis is wanting to play Vulcan Boat with what I would say, this is what I've been running for carry Overload, right? Range Overload. Ooh, so much damage. Photon is just... I mean, there's what, 2 units in the game? It's Overlord and Parser. You gotta run Photon. And Mothership's just little busted. Little busted. Once you get a few Overlords on the board, it's a lot of Wasps. Good lord. Alright. Range coming in on the Sabers in DD duty. And a little bit of a flank. Gonna get cleaned up pretty quick, but that's just there for a pull. There's one thing that feels bad sometimes playing these like Vulcan boards is you have to commit, and it is the question of, do you commit a Vulcan to the flank? And if it's like one crawler, like obviously you're not gonna do it. But what is that point, right? Like how much chaff do they have to put there before it becomes worth putting a Vulcan? And it feels like 2, maybe even sometimes, yeah, like it feels like it can almost force a Vulcan over there a little bit earlier than you might like otherwise. Anyways, looks like this round is going fantastically for Sauron as long as these... Uh-oh, is the boat gonna clean? The boat cleans it up! Good lord. Boats are busted. I love these units so much. That feels bad. That was looking like a great round for Sauron there. Great round. Level on a Phantom Ray, level on a Saber. I'd have to imagine Dionis picks up Barrier here. Missile Strike. Yeah, Sauron picks up Missile Strike. There's a couple of good targets. Get some chaff, get a Marksman. Yeah. If there's no shield that comes out here, that is a fantastic missile. Fantastic. Oh, Missile picked up for Dionis as well, going for the Wasp. That does make sense. I hadn't considered that one, looking at the cards, but it makes a lot of sense. Alright, both of the boats got levels. We'll see if Dionis decides to click them. You know, long term, you really do want those upgrades, but in a sense, taking a level doubles DPS the same way Launcher Overload does. As long as the unit actually needs the double damage to get killed. Ooh, shield from Dionis protecting that missile. Very cool. Oil for Sauron. Let's see where they go and drop that. Okay, so this is what I was talking about last round. Dionis committed the Vulcan really quickly to the flank, and it's just one crawler. You do need to clear it quickly, but like the point investment here isn't quite lining up with technically should open up their front a little bit more to this push. We'll see with the cloak picked up for the Phantom Rays. If they're able to get some extra work done here. Attack buff's always nice to have. So it looks like the oil is on the left mostly as a slow, although I'm expecting a crawler being put there next round in order to get a light. In order to cause the Vulcan to light it. Meanwhile, on the right, and even just in general, these boats are really, really showing their value. Their value? I tried to say value and power at the same time. And, yeah, boat's good units in the Phantom race just aren't cutting it here. Alright. Alright. Let's see. Enhancement module? There is some money to be made with those boats. Could see it for Dionis. Probably not for Sauron. Could see intensive. Otherwise, yeah. Wasn't really seeing anything else. Maybe there's a weird mass-produced Phoenix play here, but you're already invested onto the Phantom Rays. However, they're really not getting a lot of damage done here. They're so short range. They're just really vulnerable to those boats they try to move in. Levels, and we have rank 1 marksman with AA. Marksman always decent against the boats. You see the boat enhancement module shenanigans coming in. Expecting, oh, it'll be a sell next round. Because it looks like Dionis actually did a really interesting play, which was they just straight up sold the Vulcan. They're like, you know what? No. I know you're going to put a crawler here. You're going to put something there. You want me to light that oil for you? I'm just going to get rid of the Vulcan and clear it with a missile. That is some real heads-up play right there. Although they do end up rebuying a Vulcan, so I'm kind of wondering why they didn't just redeploy it. But hey, that's cool. Still, smart play. It's a very smart play there. Using the intensive training of the marksman, also double tacking them, ranged AA already, and we do have range picked up on the overlords. And looks like range was picked up on the Vulcans. Not sure if that was this round or last round. Again, this crawler pull is dragging everything onto the more defended side for Dionis. Ooh, okay. Phantom Rays actually connecting now. Getting to take out a Vulcan, working on that Overlord with the Marksman. Right-hand side, the Vulcans have cleared all the chaff. These Marksmen are just starting to plink away at the boats. That level 2 boat is going to take a while for the level 1 Marksman to clear out. But with the tower pop coming in and the extra marksman, looks like Sauron has found a solid answer to the boats for this round. Alright, even keeps that saber alive for an extra 200 damage. So, 2k for Sauron, 2600 for Dionis. Still anybody's game as we come into round 8 here. Javelin, always strong. Port shield, nano, great for giants. Efficient giant manufacturing feels a little late in the game for this, although with the boat sell rebuy kind of stuff, maybe there's an argument to be for Dionis, but hey, he picks up the Javelin. Javelin's a pretty good spell. Oh, both players deciding Javelin is the way to go. Alright, so boat sell, move, level, I'm assuming. A lot of marksman levels, definitely expecting those to get clicked. There's really no reason to get out of boats here for Dionis. Ooh. Sauron placing the Javelin where the level 2 boat with the enhancement module was previously. But you have to expect that one's getting sold, right? Either way, we have a huge concentration of power now on the left-hand side of the board, although Dionis is still dragging everything to the right, really wanting to pull them into that oil fire they're about to light. Oh. If this Javelin gets a boat anyways, that's wild to me. Alright, Mothership picked up, so we're going to have a ton of Wasps coming out. Shield picked up on the Wasp for Dionis. Meanwhile, we have ranged AA Wasps out of Sauron. Looks like the Javelin should get that Saber in our play. And pop. And a boat dies up top. Alright, Javelin getting some value. Not a ton of chaff on the ground here, but still, oil doing good work, cleaning it up a little bit quicker. And, woof. Ranged AA Wasp for a second. Really overpowering. Oh, with that tower pop? Maybe? Yeah, these boats are going down. Okay, okay. Ranged AA Wasp, pretty good. Pretty good. I've been clicking that AA button a little premature, been a little hyped to click that button because of just how crushing these Wasp battles are when one side has range AA and the other does not, even shield. Alright, Rhino's picked up for Sauron, Dionis going for, I don't know what makes sense here. Rank 3 Rhinos always have some value in and of themselves, just being some beefy boys. Oh, we got a bunch of Sabers, we got the Phantom Rays, you could play it. Steel Ball, probably not. Could just be Typhoon and Cell. Wraiths don't really make much sense. Steel Balls are the choice. Rhino's getting beacon straight into tower. We got Armor and Photon clicked on them already, and Final Blitz is available. Very cool. That is always a very fun button to click. So, still no overload. Clicked on the overlords. It's a 700 cost now as the third tech. A little pricey. You can certainly afford it in these later game rounds, but just upgrades coming through. Armor on the balls makes a lot of sense. We have 1-2 for Dionis, and it looks like just 1-1 for Sauron. A whole bunch of marksman levels. Vulcan placed back on the left there, makes sense. You do want that little bit of a spread. And actually, with the Vulcan being moved from in front of the right-hand tower, this Rhino, ooh, there is some chaff in the way, but how long are they going to get stuck? And it's not long at all. I think this tower's about to pop. And there it goes. You have to imagine Sauron finishes clearing up the round. Second tower going down, and this is just a crushing board. Is this enough damage to end the game? It is indeed. GG game 1. Well played, Sauron. Sauron's been doing great this tournament. Some very, very impressive showings. Alright, Steelsane Cursed. Very cool. Very cool. Steelsane had a very convincing showing last week. We'll see if they can keep it up this game. Cursed going with the Fire Badger Specialist. There are some Fire Badgers offered along with Sabertooth Specialist. Certainly Fire Badger Saber, a playable comp. Let's see what they go with. And they go with, Steelsane goes with the Missile Specialist and the Ball Crawler. Ooh, Mech Rage on the Crawlers. This is a very aggressive Crawler setup. Steelsane's looking for those Crawler battles. Hound's the chaff clear of choice for Steelsane. Cursed. Oh yeah, so they started with. Wait, am I crazy? Yeah. So that was a Fang Sledge pack from Cursed. Very, very cool. I have to imagine. This is a tough shield if you want to shield this against Missile Spec, though. It's going to die so easily, especially if we get into a headbutt like this. Very cool. Certainly, both sides viable to aggro on. This is an interesting Fang position. I haven't seen this kind of forward central Fang before. It makes sense, kind of pre-staircasing. It's a little bit more connected than if you had the Fang like behind the tower or something. That is cool. That is very cool. I don't mind that setup. And there's one marksman picked up for Cursed. What else did they grab? They grabbed a fourth Fang. Okay. And we have a good old-fashioned headbutt happening. Woo! You have to imagine Hound Ball has a little bit of an advantage here. Sledges set up horizontally against the balls. Gonna be decent. You would imagine, actually, Just with the way the balls got aggroed into the fangs, they're still taking on the sledges one at a time, but regardless, sledges fall, marksmen fall, and fangs are dust in the wind. Ah, no tower XP for Steelsane. Sad. Even keeping the turret up there, ooh, not quite enough. Alright, Cursed, picking up the Phantom Ray, always very cool, very cool. Steelsane, Tarantula doesn't make sense, already in dogs. Mustang, yeah, Mustang just always rounds things out well. Running, we do have armor available on the Phantom Race. Ooh, that's the page I've been running. I like this page. Badger, coming out for Curse, nice little Fire Badger specialist. Excuse me. We have Counterfire available. Probably not necessarily the most useful tech on the line, although I guess there's an argument to just click Counterfire here instead of range because of health. Napalm and Ignite, very, very cool. We got the beginnings of what might be a Crawler War, and if it really comes down to it, Steelsane has a third fighting tech, and we got Acid instead, or Cursed. Steelsane choosing to use both missiles this round wants a lot of tempo. A lot. Ooh, missiles heat. Hit. No shield coming out of Cursed. Makes sense. Shield would have been hard to afford, and you can't ever imagine it's going to stay up, right? The balls are just going to chew through it. One pack of Fire Badgers seems to be struggling a little bit to get the chaff clear done, but it's not too bad. And you have to imagine this fight's going to be a whole lot closer next round for Cursed as they finally manage to round out their headbutt. Right, Steelsane getting to, ooh, Missile Strike coming in from Cursed. Very dangerous. Does that hit the stings? They're going to move up a little bit. I think this missile needs to be a little more down, but I could easily be wrong. Fast armor on the Hounds. Very strong play against the Fire Badgers. Gets them locked up for a long time. And yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier, right? Just, you take Counterfire in a headbutt, you're gonna get hit anyways. Yeah, we'll have to see. It's a lot of extra health, right? 63, 33 now on the Fire Badgers. Not quite double the Sledge, but quite a lot. And there's Wasp Swarm. Picked up for Steelsane. I mean, in some of these fangs will turn. A couple of these wasps go to the level tower, right? Missile coming in. Ah, this pack ain't doing nothing. We do have a very deep Hound flank. Anything else going on? Leveling the weak tower for Curse. Very cool, very cool. An extra Phantom Ray. So it looks like they're wanting to go into some sort of Fire Badger Phantom Ray play. Ooh, that missile. Actually, with the Hounds pulling the fangs, these wasps never mind my prediction. They're gonna get the tower. But is there enough of Steelsane's board left at this point? That missile strike was devastating. Yeah, now that Curse has actually kind of got all the core pieces of a working composition, they get this win. Well, they get this round. Well, you win the round. Alright. And healths are actually equal. Wow, you rarely see that. 3589 to 3589. Wild. Ooh, wild. Fast Rhino Assault from Cursed. Very cool, very cool. More missile strikes being offered. Steelsane could have been at 4, but that's maybe a little maybe. Interesting Rhino strike location. That's gonna get the tower. Gonna be just supporting a Badger and Phantom Ray over there, although they've changed their mind about the Rhino Assault. And they're actually going to use it defensively to deal with those Hounds, and that's a really good move this round. You just kind of, yeah, problem solved, deal with it next turn. Farseer's coming out in response to the Phantom Rays. So, Range Burst, AA Photon. Very cool, very cool. I'm kind of surprised Curse still has both of their turrets up. The anti-armor cannon makes sense, it's involved in the headbutt anyways. Maybe it just... I guess if the headbutt starts extending, which Curse kind of looks like they want to be doing, or at least, you know, playing a little wider. Oh, Phantom Ray coming at the back. Would have answered the Hounds, but I guess, you know, Phantom Ray plus the Rhino Assault. Gonna make darn sure that gets solved. Bubble for Steelsane. We'll see if it stays alive. I have to imagine it's going to die this round. This tower pressure on the right side is going to get Steelsane's tower. We'll see how quickly. Oh, a lot of the Phantom Rays already being taken out by those Farseers, but with this tower pop, ooh, Rhino getting stuck for a while on the Fangs. Okay. Alright. Curse picks up another round, but, oh, do they? Barely, barely. I was not quite so convincing. Have to imagine, you know, shoring up the defense on the right, or maybe a couple of tower levels, and Steelsane will be quite happy over there. Advanced power system, getting that constant +3 speed all over for Cursed. Steelsane, I don't think Laser Sights has much value here in the headbutts. I guess it's, you know, speed or skip. I don't think improved melting point. You could technically go multi-melter here. But with the Farseers already on the board, doesn't make sense. And yeah, both players just going for that speed. Gotta go fast. Phantom Ray Badger flank coming in on the side. Definitely cool. Doesn't get the shield that like a Typhoon flank does, but still very, very powerful. Arguably clears a little bit quicker. Hey Cass, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're having a great day. Alright. This missile... No, it doesn't kill them, but... You know, we'll soften up some Phantom Rays. Range picked up on the Phantom Rays. Cool. Alright, let's see what happens. Good shield for that missile. Fire Badger on the rep on the right. Getting stuck on those Hound armor for a while, but Phantom Rays cleaning it up. Overall, these Phantom Rays starting to do some work. I don't believe there's any upgrades on the Farseers yet, so they're just getting chunked out. Ooh! Somehow, despite the Phantom Rays up there, the Crawler's just barely managing to get that tower pop. But, Cursed with another solid round. You have to wonder, what is Steelsane actually missing from their board? Is it just AA on the Farseers that they need? Typhoon Phoenix, Stormcaller Melting Point. There's the Melting Point we were talking about a little bit before. Cursed picking it up. It's probably a cell, right? Yeah, it's a cell. Good to see a cell from Steelsane. Let's see. Sparty like to see a ton of AM Stangs for Steelsane. That's one way of playing it for sure. For sure. Or is there even a AM factory angle here? Especially with these Rhinos coming down. But, yeah. Looks like they're continuing on the Farseer line. Nice little AA upgrades. Very cool. Whole bunch of Rhinos coming out for Curse. Okay, so it looks like Steelsane picked up the high-level Phoenix, going for the flank here. That will be a tower take. AM Stangs and Curse won't be able to kill Hounds. Transition into Hacker Stang. Interesting. I suppose, does that not just prompt armor from the Phantom Rays, though? And then it just kind of... You're back to needing the Farseers to actually clear them. Ooh, nice missile. I'm gonna squeeze... I'm gonna take those Hounds out. Right, squeezing right next to the bubble. Oh. And there are just Rhinos all over the place now. Missile takes out the Crawlers, and do these Phoenix get distracted? No, they do not. That's going to be a very fast tower. And what was... Certainly, Chris was hoping that these Rhinos would be a big power round, but Not quite. Not quite, not quite. Sparty Sing's already got the Seers on the board. Yeah, you're right. You know, you would favor not attacking the Far Seers, just dropping AM Stangs. Yes, it's a line. Ooh, ER Factory. No Factory play coming in, though. ER Factory would not make sense here, regardless. Oh, my precious. Alright, Burst on the Farseers. Makes sense as a response into the Rhinos. Do need a bit more DPS, and you're not going to be reliably taking out that tower. To the Phoenix? I don't think the Phantom Rays beat the Phoenix here, right? Because the Phoenix are just going to one-shot them, and... Phantom Rays, unless he picks up Burst here, this is still going to be a dead tower, although it'll take a... Is it even going to take longer? Because there was the Warp in last round. Wasp Swarm not being answered yet. Alright, what do we got here? Photon came down. We do have a pack of Stangs still on the board. That was from earlier. Missiferous, though. Lots of Farseers. Haven't seen Burst Farseer play like this since Burst first got added. I'm gonna be real, it's been a while. It was very cool, very cool. I think it's a fun unit. I like seeing a million missiles. Upgrades. 1-1 for Steelsane, nothing for Cursed. Alright. There's gotta be enough missiles, right? Ooh! Yeah, first one had it. Alright. Yeah, Burst on the Farseers, just slamming through. And actually, I was wrong. Oh, I didn't write the chaff on the top right. Ooh! Phantom Rays and Phoenix just completely bopping each other. And it looks like Cursed is actually going to clean up here. Phantom Rays, pretty good unit. Yeah, I completely discounted the missile on that flank there, clearing the chaff so quickly, and the Phoenix losing shots. Been seeing a lot of 2-2 on the towers at high level. I mean, it makes sense. You'd expect around 7, 8, 9. Normally expect a 2-2 click. Wasp coming in for Cursed. Steelsane. Oh. It's a Scorpion Cell or a Wasp. I don't think Wraith's not going to get anything done. Oh, what do they pick? They picked the Sandworm? Are they keeping it? They are. Cool, cool, cool. Phoenix getting soul off. Makes sense. Unless he really wanted to invest. You could put a Hound up there. But, I get why he sells out of it. Makes sense. Alright. Woof. Photon coming in for the Rhinos. I wonder what's prompting that, or if it's just wanting a little bit of extra tankiness. Makes sense. For the portion of the game the Rhinos are actually getting hit, it is technically a little more. Mech Rage on the Hounds. Nice short-range Hounds. Ooh. Beaconing this worm straight into the tower. Rhino drop in the bottom left by Cursed, along with the Badger flank. Also picked up range on the Badgers. Loans and temp range and speed coming out for both players. Makes sense, getting late into the game. Very cool, very cool. So many missiles on Steelsane's side of the board. Rhino's gonna get slowed, but on the bottom left there is gonna get into the tower eventually. Question is, it looks like Steelsane's Worm's gonna... Ooh, is it gonna get slowed? It does get slowed by the crawlers, and that is just enough for the Rays and Wasps to take it out, although the tower still goes down. Left tower going in, not by the Rhino I expected to take it out. And these Burstiers are just gonna clean up. Oh, no, not with that pop. Slim round, slim round. Still anybody's game. Dual airdrops, Javelin. Javelins, there's some higher level Farseers. I can see Javelin being worth. There's some solid target right there, unless it gets beaconed about. Port Shield always strong. Could be nice on the Worm, but we got Javelins coming out for both players. Yeah, there it is there. Oh, over here. That will grab both Farseers, actually, and open up the path for the Rhino. Brawler to tank the initial burst. Nice play. Beaconing back. Yeah, see, this is where I was expecting the Javelin to actually hit, right? The higher rank Farseer and the, yeah. Steelsane needs to introduce a new problem to Cursed. No, for sure, right? You were kind of hoping this worm would be it, but not quite. If this Javelin wasn't here, I would, you know, it almost feels like Steelsane just has enough beef, like, beef on the board? I'm going to use the word beef to get things done, but Ryan will still get through in reasonable time, you'd have to imagine. Good missile. Okay, burst out on the Phantom Rays. I guess we're starting to get some higher HP pools on the Farseers. Don't mind that burst. Beaconing. Ooh. Okay. Steelsane moving the Orbital Javelin at the last moment. You know, predicting that beacon. So, Rhino getting stuck on Shaft for a while on the right. Big pull in the top left. It does take a while for Curse to actually clear through that. But, yeah, Steelsane's board just not quite cutting it. That game? It looks like that is game. Well, alright, well played, Cursed. Yeah! Alright, Sauron Curse. This is the upper bracket finals of the round of 8 Group A GSL format. Let's see. Only one Fire Badger offered. Let us on Fortified spec, so I don't know. I don't know if anyone really highly rates Fortified Specialist. Just kind of raw stats, no money. Nothing funky. Ooh. Okay. Sauron picking up Cost Control Specialist with Sabers and Fangs. Been playing a lot of Standard Saber, and you know what? I'm starting to become a believer myself. Gonna maybe start trying it out, you know? Very cool, very cool. Curse Grab Training Specialist, ranking with Void Eyes and Void Eyes and Sledges. That was it, and picked up 2 Fangs of themselves. Ranking up a Void Eye already. Rank 2 Void Eye early on. So strong. Good lord. Good lord. Alright, both players setting up asymmetrically. And Cursed a little bit aggressively. Sauron still playing standard. I don't think I've seen an aggro game out of Sauron. I don't believe so. Not too surprising. Arclight's the chaff clear of choice for Sauron. Always great in standard. Very, very dense formation coming out of Cursed. Man after my own heart. You'd have to give the advantage to... I would have to imagine you'd give the advantage to Cursed here in a headbutt. Crossfires can always... I swear, you never quite know. You never quite know. Still, Void Eyes, pretty solid here. Sledges, both pretty solid into Arclight Saber. Oh! Anti-armor cannon taking out a Saber during the debuff. That is a painful one. And with the turn there and no second debuff, as long as a couple Void Eyes stay alive, which they do, Curse picks up round 1. Alright, mass-produced Farseer. Someone click it. Please, I want to see it. I want to see it so badly. Cursed going for a skip. Oh, come on. Come on, Sauron. Do it. Do it. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Alright, alright. Fast disruption shot on the Void Eyes makes a lot of sense. Stang's coming in, and some fannies just to slow things down on the other side. Looks like Sauron also went for the skip. Ooh, very fast side guns. I've been wondering about side gun timing on Saber. It feels like a lot of games, like when I'm into something, playing Saber's into something like Sledge, Void Eye, it, like, you want the side guns. But it feels like a lot of times when I click it round 2 like this, I end up struggling a little bit. Like, it's just a little thin on the cash, but they are playing cost control, so yeah. Either way, very nice, very cool. Doesn't one-shot the rank 2 Void Eyes with the side gun, but, you know, still extra damage. It helps a lot. We'll have to see if the Sabers on the right here are enough to really help out. Missile making a whole lot of sense here. Was a little worried about the Sabers otherwise. Still, have to imagine. Sledge Void Eye gets through. Mustang's gonna function as chaff here. And that disruption shot. God, that ability is so good. Yeah, still just crushing through. Even with the side guns, not getting it done. And again, the debuff and the anti-armor cannon just shredding that Saber. Oh no. Alright, Curse picking up another very solid, very convincing round. And Sauron's gotta pull something together real quick here, or this is just gonna be an untenable snowball. Ooh, the rank 2 crawlers. Archer Wasp, Fire Badger. Wasp makes sense for Cursed. I'd be surprised if Sauron picks it with Mustangs already on the field. Could potentially try to go for some sort of deep flank and just, you know, take a tower, sell it. Fire Badger makes sense. Could see that being kept or sold, and it is being kept on the right. Does need some real chaff clear over there. And we got hackers. Hey, Fox, happy Sunday morning. Thanks for joining us watching the RFL. Let's watch some Russians duke it out. Alright. Sauron taking time to think. Makes sense. And we got Elite used on this hacker, so we got a rank 2 hacker already out. Not running multi-control. Don't usually see it, but good to know what tech isn't there. The Stangs of Sauron's Own is their choice, along with an extra unit of Fangs. Floating 300. They're going for an extra unit. They are indeed. Just a crawler. Hacker round 3. Crazy person. Crazy or crazy genius? I don't know. I like the hackers. You know, they are snowballing on that side already. Elite hacker as well. Gonna be decent into the Fire Badgers, no? Just normal crazy? Alright, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Left side a little bit more stall. Fangs there should be able to clean up those wasps, so they're not going to stop the push by any means, but doing a bit of damage. On the right, hacker helping out, crushing through. Ooh, getting pulled into the anti-armor cannon. It's not quite using the... Ooh, not quite using the tower pump to its full potential, but still. Solid round, solid round. Really asking blue to get into Raiden. Raiden does look pretty good here. Not gonna lie, not gonna lie. Efficient light picked up for red. Mass-produced fortress? I don't think that's a real line here. We'll see if Sauron wants to go into efficient light themselves, or if they're just going to, yeah, look into that Raiden line. Very cool, very cool. Alright, yeah, both players going efficient light, so Sauron not looking to get into those giants. I guess they believe in the Sabers to get this done, but without any levels happening on the Saber, like, we couldn't have brought rank 3, multiple rank 2 Void Eyes? I don't know. I don't know. It feels like Curse is snowballing this pretty hard. A little bit of a deep flank, a little bit of a pull. This poll is getting answered by the Stangs, but at least does delay some stuff. No one wanting to sell turrets this game. Well, sell button was picked up for cursed. What did they sell? I missed it. Ah, don't worry. Oh, the wasp. There it was. Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense. Didn't really get too much done. Oil coming out for Sauron, along with a nice little Wraith. What do they run on this? Range 8 gun, armor degen. Very cool. Very cool page. Oil definitely going to get lit. Is the oil enough? That's the question. Something about watching hackers hack buildings, I don't know, it's the funniest thing in the world to me. Oh, oil does get lit. Hack almost took out all the fire badgers before. That was pretty devastating. Got Alright. Wraith cleaning up, and Sauron manages to take a round back. Ooh. Stormcaller, insta pick up for Cursed. Curious if they're going to keep it or sell. Or Sauron, they still haven't teched any chaff clear. Yeah, I'd be surprised. I would have been really surprised if they went into Vulcan there. Would like to see some techs on the fire badges for sure. But yeah, Stormcaller's picked up for both players. Interesting. Very cool. Second hacker coming out. Phoenix. Choice. Oh. Nope. Yes. Wait, where did the Phoenix go? It is in this flank. Phoenix for both players, actually. Thinking along the same line as apparently. Alright. So that should get the tower. It'll take a little bit. Basically just however long it takes to get through the fangs, right? Not a good flank. Takes forever. It's certainly not very quick. No. What would you prefer to see there? Just like a Wraith? They don't have jump drive, so you have to imagine this Phoenix is getting sold once it gets answered. Alright. Looks like range picked up on the Hackets. A lot of shield pressure coming in from those Stormcallers. Makes sense, you know. Ooh. Running them with the hackers. Just plowing in on the right-hand side. And yeah, Blue's getting the turret pop on the left. Ooh, they get the second tower timing. And is that enough to actually get through these hackers? Not quite. Ooh. One Phoenix left alive. Does it actually clean up the board? I think it will. Oh, no! Fangs! Oh, brutal. Brutal. There's just a few left. Oh. My predictions today, not been on point. I'm gonna be real. Come on, mass produce. It's not happening. It's not happening. Deployment modules for both players. Just gonna save that Phoenix. Yeah. Because you have to imagine. Yeah, you just drop a Mustang there. Maybe a crawler. It's kind of answered. Yeah. Fang? Nope, that is a crawler. Alright, finally, we got a whole bunch of levels on these sabers. Very cool, very nice. Able to start... Ooh, sledge levels coming in. Was about to start one-shotting them with the side guns. Okay, so one sledge being sold, the other being moved onto this deep flank. Gonna lock everything down there a little bit longer. Let's see how long it takes the saber to clean it up. Rank 4 hacker. Good lord. Just a little terrifying. Crawler pull. Is that... I'm not sure how much this crawler pull is doing. I'll have to see. I can't tell exactly what. Replicate coming out. A little bit of a crawler fight on the line. Don't hate it. We'll have to see how much value they get out of it. It'll really depend if they can actually connect with the sledges, right? All right. Sledges come in, spawn a whole bunch of crawlers for blue. Hackers hacking blue sabers. Oof. Wraith going down, and it looks like there's just a little bit too much for a red player again. Sauron going under 2k down to, oof, 1400. That is a little rough. Alright. Alright, nuke. You know, when in doubt, drop the nuke. Sauron getting cursed. Cute. Alright, yeah. Do love me some nuclear gaming. Shields coming out. You have to imagine those shields stay alive, right? Like, the only pressure onto those bubbles is the Stormcaller, right? And I think it's going to be too busy with Chaff to actually pop that in time. Good reason to Hacker Shield. I was expecting Hacker Shield to come out this round, because I would expect those shields to stay alive, but... okay, it is cheaper going for the deployable bubbles, at least on this round. Gonna beacon that crawler into the tower. It'll get a little bit of a pull. It's not gonna actually threaten anything, I wouldn't imagine. Did I miss it? I think Cursed did... oh, Advanced Shield Device. Yeah. Not cheaper. Next round is oil. Does the hacker... would the hacker bubbles actually protect against oil there? Because the oil goes, like, here, no? Like, in front of the hacker bubbles? You can even put it, like, right on the line. Ooh, 8-gun on the race. That was 4 8-gun race out. Still only level 1, but a lot of firepower. And a whole lot of chaff clear. Oil mostly blocked, or half blocked, by Sauron's shields. Nuke coming down. Clears out the shields, clears out a whole lot of little stuff. We still got the hackers up and running. We still got some stanks. Well, you know, if not enough left on the ground, these wraiths able to do some work. Stang's cleaning it up, though. Sauron just not able to put together consistent rounds in a sub 800. Oof. So the question is, does Curse keep developing their board, or do they go for some sort of gut shot? EMP picked up for Cursed. Ruben said would cover about as much as a normal bubble. People always oil in front anyway. Yeah. Like I said, I think the hacker shield would have made sense last round. We'll have to see what Sauron picks. Bubbles coming out again. Looks like they're still taking their time to decide. Very nice EMP. These poor wraiths. Oh, yeah, no. That one's going to stay in position. That one's going to go into it. Okay, EMP picked up for Sauron as well. Who has their oil round back up. EMP in the back. Looks like it's trying to hit the hacker and Stangs. You'd have to predict the shields coming out, though, right? I mean, people get greedy. You know, people always get greedy. If nothing else, at least gets a bit of shield damage. Some more fangs for Sauron. I think this replicate play, it's a cheap tech, but unfortunately it hasn't seemed to have gotten a ton of value. Does get a little bit of replicate spawn in the flank, but that's about it, just the one location. No shield, so Saber's gonna lose its side guns. Oh, there is the shield, speak of the devil. Wraith on the left. Well, we'll have to see if the oil does it. I believe it was their last oil round. Did they win the last oil round they did? I can't recall, but that's okay. Whole bunch of fire on the ground. A lot of stuff dying. Hacker getting stuck on the shield for a while, but these Wraiths are just getting popped by these higher level Mustangs. Oof. Fire not wide enough to kill all of the Stangs. And is that game? It's close? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That is it. And Cursed is the upper bracket winner for Group A. Very cool. Very, very cool. Good job, Cursed. This, and we are back in the bracket. Very cool. All right. So, yes, Cursed wins upper bracket for Group A, and we'll be going on to the round of 4. Now, we need to determine the next round of 4 player from Group A. We will have Dionis Steelsane, who in a best of 3. And then the winner of which will face Sauron in a best of 3. And then we get our second top 4 player. Very cool. Very cool, cool, cool. Ah, there we go. Ah, I both played the animation twice and forgot to unmute my mic. I am excellent at streaming. I'm back here. All right. Steelsane, pretty quick supply specialist with some Sledge and Arc Lights, and Dionis taking Giant Spec with Saber Hound. So you have to imagine Steelsane's going to play a standard game. Building layout, certainly quite strong for asymmetrical standard. Dionis setting up with this kind of mid-range aggro. Oh, no, that is straight up aggro. All right. Let's do it. Let's play on the line. All right. Let's finish adjusting this camera angle. Oh, my kingdom for camera presets. How does anyone know how Mag 1? They seem to have like a button that'll like snap it or something. Like it's almost like they have a preset. Is it like some weird macro they have or something? I would love to know. Dionis actually selling center turret and playing a little bit more centrally than you usually see with these aggro deployments. That's interesting. Interesting. I wonder why they're choosing to play here and not kind of hard on the side like we normally see. Getting the nice little crawler dog filter. Alright. I guess it makes sense if he's just looking to get the Saber locked onto by the rapid fire cannon. Keep the chaff alive, keep the dogs alive. You know, pretty cool. On the left, however, that Saber got locked very quickly, and it looks like Steelsane will clean up round 1. Alright. Ooh, improved Void Eye. Come on. Oh, rip. Come on, Steelsane, do it. Yes! Yes, improved Void Eye! It's happening. Alright. What are these? Let's see what this has. Okay, so it's like 40% attack and HP. Yeah, it's 2200 defense, 1400 attack. Range by 5. Okay, yeah, so it's 105 now. Hey, we got the suppression shot unnerfed. What else are they running? Ooh, suppression, absorb, EMP range. Cool. So a bit more of a utility bar. Oh, Phoenix coming in here along with a crawler flank for blue. Gonna get that tower. Let's see if it's fast enough to matter, as Steelsane did level it once. Saber on the left still dying pretty quickly this round. And those improved Void Eyes. Oh, not quite taking the Saber out, but the Marksman clean it up. Okay. How much damage do these Voidies do? I'm so curious. Marksman levels, a possibility, as well as a Saber level. Ooh, Mustangs, always a popular pick. Yeah. Makes sense for Steelsane. Dionis could see Phantom Ray Mustang, even Ball. I think all has play here. All have play here. 1717, 1700. Yeah, this Voidie on the right had trouble actually connecting last round. Dionis really taking their time to think about these unit drops. Mustang on the right answers the Crawler, answers the Phoenix. Very cool. Very cool. And it is Mustang for Dionis as well. Levels the one Saber, sells the other, so expecting a sell here, you know, not too long. Phoenix getting moved to the hard left. Worried it's going to get targeted by this marksman quite quickly, although with the flanking Crawler and this one still being the initial lock, should be okay. It's going to take that Arclight out very quickly. Arclight in addition to answer this Crawler flank. Ooh, this one's already turning. And we got Hackers, round 3 from Dionis. They like these Hackers, apparently. No, wait, no, that was Curse who played the Hackers last game. I'm so awake. Alright. But yeah, lots of Hacker play. Lots and lots and lots. I think it makes sense against this board. Lots of medium stuff to grab. Saber tanking for a while, Hackers hacking, and looks like Dionis is going to get a clean up this round. Alright, Efficient Giant. Maybe? Probably not. Laser sights make sense. Redeployment makes sense. Redeployment has a little bit of extra value for Dionis here, just being the aggressor. Laser sights going on the Mustang makes sense. Especially with only the one Mustang. Allows you to really delay range for it. Use the money elsewhere. Okay, laser sights as well for Dionis. The Hackro. That is a hard word to say. Laser sights on the Hacker. Makes sense, makes sense. God, 110 range base feels so short on them. They're so squishy. 3200, 3250. Alright, range is picked up on the Hounds. This Prowler's gonna get chopped up. Chopped up? I guess shot up. The Hounds don't really do so much chopping. Oil coming out for Steelsane. No fire, so gonna be a slow this round. We'll see if they decide to light it next round. Sprinkler is available for Dionis, but like I don't think you ever sprinkler round 5 oil fire. Unless something's going very wrong. That Arclight's still getting hacked so quickly. A bit of a problem here, because you really want that guy alive in order to actually get through these Hounds. Ooh. As long as the marksman can get both shots up, it looks like Steelsane cleans up the round. So we still have a very even back and forth game going on. Mobilized battleship for Steelsane. Interesting. I was expecting anti-interference module, if anything. Makes sense. That should kill the rank 2 Phoenix, right? I don't think I'm crazy there. The question is, after the Mustangs finish killing this Crawler pack, do they turn to fight the mothership? I feel like they're probably going to. Range picked up on the Hackers, keeping them nice and safe. Oh. Saber sold, I believe. And then the Phoenix has been moved way into the front with another hacker, so suddenly this mothership has a nice open tower. And the only question is if these Mustangs are going to turn, but you feel like even if they do, should at least get the tower pop. Meanwhile, up here, we got arc lights, we got range, we got, ooh, an orange man, and a whole bunch of chaff, and crawlers duking it out on the line. Well, missile will slow down the mothership. I don't know how far it's going to need to move to actually hit the tower. Oh. Mustangs will get cleaned up. And actually, with the Mustangs pulling in anyways, missile isn't doing a whole lot. Meanwhile, the rest of the fight seems to be pretty neutral. So this power pop just absolutely devastating. Alright, maybe I need to be doing more mothership drop plays. Such an expensive card, though, but hey, worth it for this round. Dionis down under 2,300. Alright, alright. Sabertooth and Cell or Wraiths? Dionis going for the Sandworm. Wants that added onto their board. I guess the DPS on Steelsane side isn't too high right now, right? It's just a couple of Void Eyes. You do have the higher level Marksmen. Marksmen aren't the fastest at taking out a Sandworm, though. Especially as they tend to have a little bit of time switching between whatever chaff might be left in the Sandworm in their targeting. Hound on the deep flank, and a Replicate coming out of Steelsane. This Replicate I really like. You have two Crawler fights going on the flanks. As well as a little bit of one here. So I enjoy that Replicate. Look at all these little Crawler fights. Ooh, Degen Wraiths. Okay, okay. This feels... This is an aggressive Wraith positioning. Is this indicating that he's wanting to sell it? After this round, or just going to keep it in and force a response? I'd have to imagine with the Degen, you want the Wraith staying. Wild, though, right on the line like that. Definitely going to be a ton of power this round, right? I guess Steelsane's just looking to tempo this game through. Worm getting beaconed straight into that tower. See if it makes it. 1-1 for both players. Degen slow, just absolutely devastating. Worm has barely made any progress. It doesn't look like it's going to even manage to get close to the tower. Wraiths do end up going down, but really just opened things up for Steelsane into a crushing round. Wild play. The question is, do the Wraiths have any longevity where they are? And does Steelsane start selling out of them? Whoa, that was a fast Ion Blast. Very good. Actually, yeah, anything other than Ion and maybe Deployment Module. Right? Or nothing other than you want the Ion or the Deployment in there. I don't think the others didn't make any sense for either player here. Alright. Ion Beams for both. Hacker Shield coming down. It's 8k per level, right? Oh no, it's 16,000 per level. I had the wrong number memorized. I wonder, I don't know, does this hacker live with the Ion starting right on them? I feel like the Ion's still gonna kill this guy, but curious, we'll see. Additional Wraith getting added. Oh, being eluded out? What are we doing, Steelsane? Yeah. More Wraiths, more Worm, more Phoenix. Ooh, that is an unanswered Wraith going into a level 1 tower. Fangs just ain't gonna cut it, you know? Plus the Crawler. Uh-oh. Depending on all these out. Ion's land. Is this Wraith a powerful enough play to just end the game here? Fiend's going to make their way through these Wraiths. Ooh, that hacker did die. Okay, good to know. Good to know. This tower going down, but it barely even looks like Steelsane needs it. Is that game? That is indeed game. Steelsane taking game 1 of their best of 3. Oop. Aw, I missed the button timing. I'm pushing it anyways. Yeah. Alright. Badger Marksman with a supply specialist for Dionis. Steelsane still taking some time to decide. Missile specialist. Probably my favorite specialist, but Mustangs are a rough starting unit. And it looks like Steelsane went with aerial spec Badger Crawler. Alright. Let's line all this up. Where do I line up this map? I think probably... Yeah, okay, and then just like at this building height, something like here. Yeah, this works. All right, cool. What is that formation? That would have been some wild stuff. All right, anti-armor cannon behind a wall. Asymmetric from both players makes a lot of sense. So hard to push. It looks like we have Steelsane playing as the aggressor here, with a very fast Wasp pickup. Can be very scary, but Dionis decided to pick up Fangs as their chaff round 1. This back Fang should be able to clean this up. Hopefully, at least. Well, hopefully for them. Fire Badger's doing Fire Badger things. Absolutely wrecking all the chaff. Although Steelsane's Fire Badger's a little bit healthier, but as the chaff all disappears, these marksmen clean through. And yeah, that backpack of Fangs taking out that Wasp, and Steelsane's, round 1 air specialist play not quite working out for them how they'd want to. Ooh, come on. It's so short range. Someone click Assault Raiden. Advanced shield device for Steelsane. Assault Raiden. Do it. Do it. They're so tanky. It's not happening. Advanced shield device or skip, I'm expecting. Mass-produced Scorpion is playable. It feels a little bit early to commit into it, and against an air specialist, a little scary. Little scary. But no, advanced shield for both players. Very cool, very strong. Puts them up to, what's it, 40%? So it's like 4, 8, 16, so it's 56,000? Yeah, nice big shield. Brawler. Bang. Hey, come on, you're not gonna go Assault Raiden if you're going Raiden anyways? Brother. Nah, it's cool. I didn't have the money for it. Actually, no, they did. They did, because it was 0 either way. Anyways. Goodbye, Badgers. Oof. One lives because of the shield, at least. Keeping the Wasp on the board makes sense. Makes sense. Selling it already would be wild when there's towers to sell. There are turrets to sell. So, Fangs clean through, and the question is the Raiden able to clean through? And with the Fangs tanking, no, Marksman gets it done, as well as the tower pop from some of Steelsane's Fangs on, or sorry, from Dionis' Fangs on the left there. Was that not the Marksman? Did I miss the Marksman still being alive? The Marksman must have still been alive on the left. All right, smart marksman for Dionis. They are sticking in that line. The deployment module for Steelsane, moving that wasp down to the bottom left. Excellent little maneuver. Marksman, well, if you put it there, it's definitely going to turn. Fang's still going to walk forwards, but we should expect a dead tower. Steelsane wrapping around with some fire badgers, some range, and a big flank commitment in the bottom left. Big, 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 big. And they do have that lovely little counterfire button, as well as field maintenance. Very cool. Missile protecting the weak tower. Dionis recognizing the issue there. We have some level 2 marksmen now, as well as the Mustang. Oh, the Raiden was sold off. That took me a second to notice. Wild. Just not convinced of the longevity. I guess worried about the fact that the marksman got levels. Smart marksman being on the board. Or on the cards. Alright, Wasp not getting immediately wrecked by Fangs. Actually able to tank a little bit longer, but just not able to get through that big shield. And Dionis is just getting massive value from the shield. Still, only up 349 health. Ooh, another marksman level already. Wraith for Dionis makes sense. Great little answer to the Wasps. Great little answer to that flank in general. For Steelsane, going with the Stormcaller. Get a little bit of tower pressure, a little bit of DPS, which they are sorely lacking. Don't mind that. And Scorpions are the choice for Dionis. Okay, interesting. So seeing Steelsane... Yeah, I mean, once you get the 4 Badgers with range, don't mind the Scorpions at all. The rank 2 Wasps getting moved into the left side on the line here with this missile. This is one thing, right? Like when you're putting early chaff, like right behind this wall, this missile's gonna wreck almost all of it, and you have to imagine that's a very fast pop. Steelsane playing this mobility item wonderfully. Oh, Badger in the way though. Gonna solve things out at least. A little bit. Worried these Wasps are going to sneak in. Alright. Orange man on the field. Just one Scorpion, it looks like. Oh, I guess that was only like half the pack of Fangs. It was a couple of squares back. That's not so bad. Marksman starting to fire at these Wasps. Fire Badgers burning each other. And that is a tower pop, and you'd have to imagine... Red cleans up the round. There we go. Oh, does the Wraith actually? Actually, no, never mind. Oh, the level 2 Wraith just wrecking house. I blinked and I forgot it existed. Okay. Super supply, definitely clickable. Although, feels like Steelsane needs to get some tempo back, so taking the mobilized battleship, they'll at least have one unit somewhere on the board that can take the Wraith out reliably. I was kind of hoping the Wasps might have during the tower debuff, not the case. A laser sight coming out for... Whoa, someone took a laser sight. Where'd that go? Laser sight on the Wraith. Dan took that. Nice little Wasp angle. There is a Fire Badger under those icons there, so it's gonna get taken out. Ooh, Scorpion in a good position to take out those Badgers. If they can manage to take out the Badgers before they clear all the Fangs, hopefully that'll delay the Wasps for long enough. And Steelsane is committing into boats, and they are running jump drive boats. Yeah, jump artillery, mothership photon. Alright, very cool, very cool. Ooh, anti-missile device. you know, definitely put in place in there from the Stormcaller, but it looks like that thing got sold off. Still, gonna have some value for the Overlord at least, so it's not like a wasted click. And we have the Mothership drop in the bottom left here. So the rank 1 Overlord kill the Wraith? Rank 2 Wraith? I imagine, given that the Wraith has no upgrades. But we're gonna find out. And there's some chaff. Yeah, okay, yeah, it's like a 2-shot. Good lord. Alright, Scorpion not quite managing. Ooh, to take out the Badgers on the right, but with the Overlord drop getting the pop, the Wraith being down, Steelsane gets a round win, and that's actually like a ton of damage. Oof, Dionis down to 2345. Alright, EMP, insta-click by Dionis. You could see EMP or intensive, although playing boats, probably you don't really need intensive so much. Or maybe not as critical as raw boat numbers do a lot, but hey, Steelsane going for it. See what they decide to upgrade. Crawler added onto the flank. That would have been last round. We have AA clicked on the Marksman of Dionis. Makes a lot of sense. No real reason at this point to assume that Steelsane won't keep going boats. Although, I mean, yeah, I don't know what he would do if he would sell another Air Giant and try to pivot again. That seems like a wild play. And Steelsane finding all these little angles that are just slightly underdeveloped for Dionis and exploiting them. It's really excellent dagger play. EMP on the right, gonna slow down the Badgers, gonna slow down the Overlord, drop their damage a bit. When is this Overlord on the left? That's the real dangerous one. Crawler could have pulled it, but hey, beacons are strong. Alright, and the question is... Ooh. Big shield, so the Overlord is getting slowed down. And Wraith is coming in, and does the Wraith actually manage to keep the tower alive? Oh, goodness, okay. Dionis' setup actually managing to clean that up. I was really worried about that one. Shield helping so much to keep everything alive. And Steelsane suddenly under 1500 health. Starting to get a little scary. Sledgehammer packs picked up for both players. Curious where Steelsane's going to be putting those. Scorch picked up on the Badgers. Cat ran out of holes. Yeah. Alright. Looks like the boat on the left had been sold. Repurchased on the right. Sledge is going into the... Oh, not going into the deep flank for Steelsane. Just keeping them on the front lines. Extra Mustangs coming out. This is now a rank 3 Wraith. Untacked, but still just doing work. Laser sights. Yeah, you have to wonder if there's really an angle to get things done, and putting two boats together is certainly one way to exploit any slight hole, but... Oh. Does the Sledgehammer go on the right? You'd love to see it just to slow things down. Still no tower levels, so if it opens up at all, the debuff will be devastating. Oil on the left got lit very quickly. Not a ton of stuff to burn, though. And yeah, these Overlords just getting stalled out by the ground forces, and the Marksmen have just enough time with those with that AA tech to get it all done. Actually, plenty of time. A ton left on the ground, and this is just an absolutely convincing round. Is that game? That is it. That is it. Yeah, you know, last round, like round 6, not getting this stab actually successfully into the tower. I think that probably just killed it at this point. Really well played by Dionis. Damn. Okay. Yeah. I did it. All right, Steelsane Dionis. We have got game 3 of the decider match. Anything interesting in the packs? Giant Specialist offered. Void Eye Mustang can be awkward. Fire Badger Specialist with Fire Badgers. Looks like Steelsane's pick is Quick Supply with the Saber Hound. And Dionis is going for the Marksman pack with Saber Hound. Wait, no. Steelsane went Quick Supply Saber Hound. Dionis went Marksman pack with Saber Fang. They have switched sides on me this game. On us, I suppose. Alright. Let's level this out. Let's go and line this up like yeah, and I'm very happy about that. Alright. Building layouts. Honestly, can aggro either side. Sabers do not mind tanking this rapid fire cannon, although I don't know how quickly Saber Hound gets through the defensive wall. I think hounds are slower than something like a tarantula, but you know what? I just don't know offhand. Alright, ton of chaff coming in for Steelsane. Ooh, looks like they're not the only ones to run this setup. Gotta use a preset deployment there. Or recommended deployment? Recommended, that's the word. Alright. What is Dionis's deployment of choice here? It is just going to be some crawlers. I was wondering if they were going to drop some chaff clear of their own, but looks like they just want to chaff it out. Given that there's actual chaff clear, you would have to imagine blue has the advantage here, although the Saber's not tanking for the rapid fire cannon, getting a little bit of damage done onto the hounds and crawlers. But yeah, Saber Hound not the fastest getting through the wall. Suspicions very confirmed. Yeah, and this is just an easy cleanup. Oh. Saber's gonna spend the whole buff just firing at damn crawlies. Alright. Gotta win that first round, or you'd really like to win that first round as a quick supply, so Steelsane quite happy, and health is pretty much evened between the players. Mass-produced Wraith, very playable, and a nice click for Dionis there, who now has an excellent card to play, having not purchased Chaff Clear round 1. Could see Haste Module, could see Redeployment. Mass-produced Sandworms, an interesting card. I don't think it's expected to be clicked, and it is just the redeployment for the aggro player. Orange Man coming down from that Marksman spec. Very cool. And we have 2 Wraiths being deployed on the left to answer this push coming in. Mustangs coming out can take out the Wraiths, but also very easy for the Wraiths to take out. Just kind of depends on whether or not the Mustangs have cover and whether or not the Wraiths have cover. Setting up the Marksman on the right is interesting to me. I would have expected the Marksman to be set up on the left to answer the push, but maybe they're worried about handing out the experience. Alright. Wraiths coming in should be able to shred most of this push very quickly. Mustangs starting to fire, but not the fastest unit at taking Wraiths out. So, chaff cleaned up on the left by the Wraiths, but we still got the Mustangs, and unless this debuff right here, nah, with the tower level from Steelsane, not gonna get the debuff in time. And that is another successful round. With the Wraiths getting stuck on the Sabers like that on the left, you have to wonder, should the Orange Men have been put over there? Very available if anyone wants to go for a giant play. It's Smoke Bomb for Steelsane. Interesting. Smoke bomb on the right. Mustangs tickling the Wraith to death. It is how it goes. Really curious about this smoke bomb. It's gonna last for a couple of rounds. It'll come back up later. Doesn't seem like it's gonna do too much here. Range picked up on the Wraiths seems very important. But Dionis still not committing any DPS onto the left side of the board, so you have to imagine these Sabres are still going to keep the Mustangs happy and healthy. A million donuts indeed. Oh, mass-produced Wraith is a fun card. Smoke not affecting the Wraith on the right, so they're able to push through quite quickly. And yeah, it just ends up being the Sabres and the Mustangs, although the Sabres abandoned the Mustangs, and this is a Wraith cleanup round. You know what? Who needs DPS if you just kill everything else first? And then if nothing shoots up, hey, there go the Wraiths. They get levels? One Wraith has a level. Is this other one on the left also? Nope, just the one level. Alright, Fort Vulcan, Tarantula Typhoon. Fortress for Steelsane. Curious if they're going to play it. They are playing it indeed. Fort Stang coming out. Fortress for Dionis. That'll add some DPS onto the left, and we may have some good old Fort action. What a classic. Alright, what techs are these guys running? Ooh, okay. Range, Fang Production, Barrier, and AA Barrage. Dionis, meanwhile, running range double shot, AA better, AA and barrier. Whoa! Fort AA clicked for Steelsane. This seems wild to me. I guess with the lower level Wraiths, like, it'll help. It feels like, what is it, like a half the barrage, a third of the barrage? I can't remember how much of these AA barrages actually end up usually hitting the Wraiths, so something to pay attention, something for me to learn today. It takes about half the health. Yeah, so 2 barrages do kill the level 1 Wraith. I guess it's not the worst. It's interesting, though. Interesting. Alright. 3 barrages to kill the level 2. Funny how RNG works out sometimes. Question is, because these missiles are doing, what, like, notes? 900 each? Yeah, it's like 900 each. Dang, okay. Dionis is indeed ahead in the Fort Mirror, but they're not running carry techs, and they've invested into AA, so I'm wondering if... Oh, yeah, Dionis is ahead. Well, are they? Because they both have 2 forts. We have a level coming out for Steelsane, so even if they don't have the aggro techs... levels alone, maybe? Steelsane taking the big electromagnetic blast. Feels like it's big EMP or nothing for Dionis. Alright, level coming out on the fort. Yeah, the levels make it awkward, right? Because, like, otherwise you would imagine you could just double shot, range, and suddenly Dionis' forts are winning this battle, and then who cares that you clicked on AA, but the level changes the math. It changes it really hard. Extra Wraith coming out for Dionis. We'll see, as well as some chaff. We'll see if they drop another fortress and get any text. Double shot coming out. And shield will keep double shot alive. Oil. Very cool. I'm just going to slow everything down. Oh, anti-missile devices. So really looking to keep the Wraiths alive from the Fortress AA. Pulling the Wraith back as well. I'm pulling the more forward Wraith back. Alright, EMP barrage hits. These Wraiths have lost their range. We'll see if the anti-missile devices can keep them alive regardless. As these fortresses really need these wraiths to take care of all this chaff. So that they can actually lock onto the other fortresses. There we go. One fortress down, and woof. That level fortress just plowing through. And a nice little cleanup by Steelsane. Dionis getting a little low on hit points for round 6. 1327 is not where you like to be. Incendiary Bomb could go for some very wide fire for Steelsane. Or for Dionis, sorry. Steelsane, have to imagine it's... well, any of the items make sense to me. Incendiary is certainly playable. But they do go for the improved attack, or improved firepower. That's the name of that thing. Range picked up on Dionis' fortresses, as well as a third fortress. So at this point, you'd have to... there's another fortress. You'd have to give Dionis' fortresses the edge at this point, being double-tacked, and actually with, you know, Fort v Fort techs. This is an interesting fire position. How much is getting pulled? It looks like just the one pack of crawlers. So not the most damage from this fire play. Sprinklers on the dogs for Steelsane. Hadn't put any techs on them, so nice and cheap. You really would not be surprised about an extension to the oil there. 2 fortresses, along with this moved Mustang on the right, should get this tower, you have to imagine. Nothing really contesting it. Let's see how this plays out, but this is looking really scary for Dionis. Yeah, Dionis' fire not really getting much of anything accomplished. On the right, the fort's just crushing through. There goes the tower, and... are the double-shot fortresses enough? Good lord. You have to imagine not with the debuff? Ooh, just not in the shield, but Dionis is still alive. They are still alive. You know, maybe Fortier is a bit better than we thought against mass-produced Wraith, at least. Goodness, or at least if the Wraiths aren't snowballing. Rhinos picked up for Dionis. Boom. Always fun, always fun. How much health do these guys have? 44,000. So they are just barely able to kill these fortresses. Interesting, interesting. Wonder if there's going to be another health upgrade coming out. Void Eyes picked up for Steelsane. Looks like they're just selling them off. So that's a money play. Smoke Bomb back up. That Smoke Bomb makes a whole lot of sense. Can they afford Barrier? Nah, Dionis has already played out. Between the Boom, Extra Fortress, and... excuse me, some upgrades. The Void Eye Crawler Flank. Not one you see very often. Barrier coming in for Steelsane's fortresses. That barrier... okay, something I don't know. If the Boom Rhino is inside the barrier, does the Boom blow up the stuff inside, or does it get stopped? It's like, I know the Boom gets stopped if it's outside. I'm just not 100%. Okay, no, it does still blow up the things inside. Good to know, good to know. Cool, 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 cool. That middle Boom Rhino, I don't think it got much done there. I was really paying attention on the left, sorry. But, ooh. Just not quite enough for Dionis, and the tempo out of Steelsane, bringing him to game set match. That is 2-1 Steelsane over Dionis. Well played. This This was fascinating with the fortresses. I really expected Dionis' fortresses to start, you know, really getting ahead once he got the text, but rest of the board couldn't quite put it together. The Wraiths weren't able to really stay alive and get all the clear done that you would have hoped for. Dang. All right, then. All right. We are into Sauron versus Steelsane. Got a best of 3 going on. Let's see what packs are on offer. Training spec with a lot of health. Rough starting with Mustangs, but always cool. Supply spec. Badger Marksman makes a lot of sense. Wouldn't be surprised if Sauron picked up the Fire Badger pack themselves, although they've been playing a lot of standard sabers, and hey, there's that saber pack. They do like it. Alright, let's line this up. Just like that. Ooh. Sebel187, thank you so much for the follow. I hope you're having a great day. Alright. What do we got here? Some crawlers. Very cool. This 3-building layout is interesting. I see a lot of like center standard deployments happening here. I don't know, I've tended to favor either center standard or like symmetrical even sometimes, but you can certainly play these asymmetrical layouts. Makes sense if you're playing asymmetrical to start on not the wall side. For sure. Yeah, nothing funky on the marksman for Steelsane. No assault mode, always looking to see if that's a possible click. Although I don't know if you normally... I don't know, is it possible to really run assault marksman in standard? Feels like it chunks their range just a bit too much for that. But hey, alright. Wasp, round 1 for our air specialist. Always a wild play. No fangs on the field, just the marksman, so Wasp has a lot of potential here. Trawler on the left from blue, just to slow things down a little bit over there. Look at this Saber getting pulled right into the middle. Ooh, the insta-lock from the marksman, you hate to see it, or you love it. Saber's not long for this world, unfortunately. So here's the question, can the Wasps clean up all of these marksmen? The answer is not quite. Ooh. Maybe? Yes? No. Ooh, marksman just cleaning it up, but that is a very close round. Ooh, marksman did pick up a level from that. Very, very cool. Fangs, excellent, getting the extra deployments. Stormcaller makes sense in a long-range game. Steelsane going for the Fangs. Could see Sledgehammer as well. Always a solid little unit. What is Steelsane doing over here? Some Mustangs. Very cool. Fangs deployed on the right. And like suddenly with that unit drop, we actually have a little bit of a force over here for Steelsane. They got a nicely balanced board. Oop. Sledgehammer was the unit of choice for Sauron. Not quite as many deployments on the left, but still gonna stall out quite a bit on that side and can start adding extra units. It just seems unfortunate on the right here, this Saber getting pulled into the turret. You have to wonder if they maybe should have deployed it a bit more onto the right, just so that it would actually stay together with the rest of the forces. Sauron taking their time to think. And we going for some chaff. I I am worried that this left saber is going to get insta-locked again. Are we going to see a... Oh! I think Sauron ran out of time there. They clicked the extra unit additional deployment button, but they didn't actually get anything onto the board. That is very unfortunate. Saber does get dragged into the left by the addition of the fangs and crawlers over there, so it's not being completely abandoned in no man's land. Ooh. Crawlers almost sneaking in, taking out a marksman. But Steelsane's board just chomping through. Barrier could be fun, get some worm action, but both players going for improved firepower. Marksman levels picked up. Gotta feel like these sabers aren't getting it done here. Does Sauron make the choice to start getting out of them? Sauron with a cell. The wasp is indeed gone. We have the improved firepower going on the Badger. What's that put them from 24 to 39? I don't think I normally see improved firepower on the Badgers, but should be good. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what it can accomplish. $400 still in the bank. Oh, Steelsane with a ton of undos. Also, actually moving... Oh, nope. Really unsure where they want the improved firepower. Did have it on the Mustangs for a moment. Put it on the Badger. And just taking their time. Adding an arc light. A little bit cheaper to cover that flank compared to adding another Badger. Improved firepower can be great on Badgers. It makes sense, right? Like, the fire rate is so high. It's a lot of extra DPS, for sure. Counterfire for Sauron, very quickly. And an oil from Steelsane to slow things down and probably get a light. Yeah, it's gonna be a light. Oof, devastating. Yep. With that fire, cleaning up the chaff oh so quickly. Marksman just plowing on through. On the left, Marksman taking a little bit more time, but still getting through. And just seems like Steelsane's... it's Sauron's number here. Ah, brutal is a great way to describe that round. What did they get there? 18,000? It's not bad, not bad. Oh, wow, they went through fast. All right, advanced targeting systems picked up for Steelsane. Pretty early on round 4, but in these standard games, it can be such a powerful card. Also picked up for Sauron, thinking the exact same thing. So, no range discrepancy between the two boards. Well, except that we have Sabers into Marksman, with a ton of Marksman being added now, up to 6 for Steelsane. Wasp being repurchased, added onto the left. Do need something to distract those marksmen. And good spotting. There are no fangs over here. There's no Mustang. Actually, there's no Mustang anywhere. It just got sold. And we have the improved firepower on this Badger. I can't recall if this was added last round. Or was moved this round. That's okay. It's there now. Really wondering what Sauron's going to do in terms of developing DPS. They got some chaff, they got some clear, and the Sabers just ain't cutting it so far. And these counterfire Badgers get so tanky with that one tech, but Marksman good unit. Marksman good unit indeed. 2592, not the most comfortable health, round 6. Javelin? Clickable? Amp core, anti-interference. Amp core for both players, okay. Just continuing to buff up Badger, so they're really wanting to play this Badger game. Oh, wow, I just realized Sauron doesn't have range. Yeah, so it's just counterfire, field maintenance, ignite, scorching charge. The fantasy page. Speaking of, there's field maintenance. We don't actually have Ignite available on Steelsane's Badgers. Marksmen have range, only a couple blue though. I'll have to see what the field maintenance can get done. These are some tanky Badgers now. 8,200, what's that, like 2,500 health almost a pack? Or 25,000 health per pack almost? Fang added on the left to take care of that wasp. Boom. Even more Badgers, just all in on the Badgers. Sauron sold something. I think it was the anti-armor kit? Sold something from this side. There's no way they sold the unit of chaff, right? Sticky oil bomb. Right over there. Should get a nice light and plenty of chaff on that side to burn. Let's see. Missile for... Oh, it's hard to tell at this angle whose missile that is. I think that's Steelsane's? About to find out. It is not. It's Sauron's missile. Ah, woo. Very nice missile. Alright. I'm really curious how much healing these field maintenance Badgers do. And it's... I think they were tanking like an extra marksman shot each. And certainly they weren't dying to the Badgers. At least not very quickly. But okay. Who needs DPS? Badgers are DPS, I guess. Let's go. Levels on the Badgers, levels available on the Sabres as well. Units here. Scorpion seems like it has good value for both players. Stormcallers, always nice long range. Sandworm, very cool. So we have Sandworm for Sauron and the rank 3 Scorpion for Steelsane. 35,000, so I mean, you know, field maintenance doesn't do a lot if you're just getting one shot. Sandworm gets 2 shot by the Scorpion, although lined up on the other tower. True, last round was with fire and a pretty great missile. True. We got some levels coming out now on the Sabres, so we can start calling this DPS real, but just lined up into these Scorpions. Feels like Steelsane's board is a little ahead here. Scorpions, 5 shots. 11, yeah, 5 shots to kill the Sandworm, but a couple of marksmen there to back him up. Oh, I'm liking the look of Steelsane's board here. I'm expecting this rapid fire cannon to get sold. Looks like this missile's going to get blocked by the Fang, which, if nothing else, at least opens up things a little bit more for the Sandworm to get in. But, you can see the forward Fang over here for Sauron, blocking a lot of potential missile shenanigans, although still some angles, but it's not like you're going to one-shot anything. More Wasps coming out for Sauron. We'll see if they get to stay alive against the Fangs. Certainly going to tank up the marksman shots for a little while. Worm's starting to chomp away. We got Badgers getting stuck on the Scorpions. Scorpions can be some tanky boys, and Badgers aren't going to have the DPS to get through. Yeah. Worm ends up dying before even killing the Scorpion. Unfortunate. Although the Badger finishes off, and Steelsane's board looking a little Exodio, if I do say so myself. No range play from Sauron making you anxious. Yeah, it's a second advanced targeting system. You know what? You don't need range if you just have 95 base. Might be the idea. Oil back up for Steelsane, as well as getting an intensive. I believe it was used on one of the Scorpions. Probably. Maybe the Scorpions both level naturally, actually. It was used somewhere. It's a good utility. Surprised this thing's still alive. Worm got sold. Didn't get a ton done last round. Did a little bit of tanking, but I understand selling off the Worm. What is Sauron going to do with their money, though, besides some chaff? Looks like they are wanting to drag some enemy units around. Maybe pull them into the sabers where they have some real DPS. Although sabers haven't been connecting. Like besides that fire round, they're just not hitting their targets. Temp range coming in. Yeah, you got 110 meters on the Badgers. Yeah, you don't need... Yeah, nah, you don't need a range tech. Boats! Okay, okay. What have they got? They have the aggro boat page. Interesting. Interesting. I'll have to see how this one plays out. Everything was getting initially outranged by Steelsane anyways. Yeah, certainly they got the longer range board. And feels like most of the time in Standard, unless it's like one of those weird, like, cast Standard aggro games, whoever has more range tends to do better. Yeah, ground just getting cleared up so fast for Steelsane, and these marksmen are going to have no problems getting through the boats. Is that game? Yeah, it's game. But Sauron had more health than he did for a second there. Alright. Game 1 going to Steelsane. Sauron, Steelsane. Game 2. They have kept the same size, so it's still Sauron in blue. And anything interesting? We got Badgers. Typhoon spec playable. This seems very playable. Aggro or even like a mid-range setup. The missile specialist. Giant spec though with Fang Sledge Start for Sauron. Like that is almost, that is one of the better standard starts you can ask for, and they do agree. Alright, let's get this all lined up. Steelsane this time with the Saber start. I think we've been lining it up to like here. What do they not run on the Saber? They do not have anti-missile. Interesting, interesting. Fire Badger spec, yep. Building layout certainly suggesting either a center or ASIM setup. Really only have the one option for Steelsane if he's looking to play aggro, which it looks like will be the case with that cell and a round 1 Fire Badger. Oh, excuse me. Alright. I was worried for a second when he clicked that, but I guess just moving through the recommended deployments. There we go. Saber nice and far up front. I believe, yeah, that's going to, should end up tanking the rapid fire cannon. And there's no high DPS yet on the board from Sauron, so Saber's quite safe and happy there. Voidide's coming out. Great choice. Great choice. Ooh, would have liked to see at least this Voideye towards the right, maybe in the center of the board, if you want to keep a more central deployment, as they're not going to end up aggroing over and helping into this push. Fire Badger's making pretty quick work of those fangs. Sabers just chewing their way through uncontested. Yeah, skipping the deploy around 1, it's always a tough one, but like, you want chaff clear, and if you're wanting to go Fire Badger, it's just tough. Either way, they do manage to get the round. So, paying off for Steelsane, at least here. Mass-produced Wraith for Sauron, going to be their chaff clear of choice. Hard not to take that card when you don't have anything developed. So powerful. I'm amazed it only decreases their stats by 20% for like a 33% decrease in cost. Wild. You'd rather lose round 1 than skip the deploy. I'm with you. I lose a lot of round 1s with like 2 sabers and 5 units of crawlers on the board. But, hey, worked here. All right, Marksman out on the board. You know what? Preempting the Wraith. Pretty intelligent heads-up play right there. Steelsane also picked up the deployment module. Not committing it to anything yet. Wouldn't be surprised if that ends up going on an air unit next round, but hey, we'll see what happens. Extra Void Eye coming out for Sauron. Needs that DPS over there. Ooh, and we got a Badger flank out of Steelsane. Not answered by the missile. And the question is, yeah, that Wraith got getting targeted very quickly by the marksman. Still was able to clear out a lot of the chaff. And that Badger flank not taking the tower fast enough. Tower aggro still feeling weird. Sometimes units just seem to go towards towers, and even something else much closer steps in range, they just keep going. Yeah, I think that's like the it looks really weird in motion a lot of the time. I guess it's like the turning radius thing. Like the time it takes a unit to turn is calculated as far as like quote-unquote distance is concerned. Could make it look a little funky, but hey, at least most of the stuff for Sauron coming out to help. That Fire Badger was redeployed over into the shallow flank. I do like that play, as you gotta respect it, right? That Badger can stay there. That flank can continue being developed. So now we got a Wraith over here. He's gonna spend a whole lot of time not contributing. Very cool smoke bomb. Gonna really mess with Steelsane's forces here. And we have a very quick field maintenance coming in from the Badgers. I like this play. I like this play a lot. I think it's really nice into these early boards. Wraiths just struggle so hard to get through it. There is the rank 2 Void Eye. But, 2 rank 2 Void Eyes, actually. Shield plus the smoke here. Sabers do get through the shield really quickly, so the Fire Badgers can open up. Ooh. Crawler taken out by that missile. Was deployed in an earlier round, but Fire Badger's good unit. Counter tower taken, but seems like a little too late. Oh no! The regenning Fire Badger. Ah, it does eventually die. Still, Steelsane with another solid round. You gotta expect range on the Wraiths this round, right? Fortress could make a lot of sense here for Sauron. Could see Phantom Rays coming out for Steelsane. They could play Fortress as well if they wanted to. Wasp seems like dead in the water with the Wraiths already on the board. Prefer Counterfire over Repair, more HP, bunch of extra range. That's fair. It makes sense. I guess the question is, if Steelsane's wanting to click range at some point anyways, is range... How does range field maintenance compare to range counterfire? Because it feels like once you get the second tech, is field maintenance not a little better? Maybe not. Because either way, you're kind of safe. I don't know. I need to play with this line more. I do tend to prefer upfront HP in general. Just tends to protect them from DPS units a bit better, although we have some overload fortresses coming in. Badger just getting moved constantly, trying to find any little hole it can. And we did actually have Steelsane grabbing fortresses. Again, the fan production, very cool. Mustangs on the board for Steelsane. Still going to be fighting in that smoke, at least most of the forces. I don't believe range... No, it doesn't look like range was picked up on the Wraiths, so still vulnerable to that marksman. Although, managing to get some work done, clearing chaff. Have to wonder if overload on the fortresses was the play here, or if range on the Wraiths might have gotten a bit more done, but a little bit of an air scam gonna finish the round off. And the health is effectively equalized. Well then, hey. What do I know? Alright, come on, don't make me that big of a liar. Oh! Efficient Giant. Ooh, enhancement. Ooh. Enhancement with intensive training, and Steelsane has started the money machine with a rank 3 fortress on the board. Alright. Disruption shot on the Void Eyes. Don't mind that. And there's range on the Badgers. Orange Fort, how fun. No kidding. What's this guy at? Like 250, 264k with the enhancement module? That's a big boy. That's a big boy. Nice little crawler on the mid flank. Gonna pull and at least distract for a fair bit. I wonder if you want it just a little deeper. Although it would be hard to get this deep enough to pull like the fortress without pulling the Badger. Range finally picked up on the Wraiths. Hopefully that keeps these guys, this guy alive a little bit longer. New Wraith added to clear the flank. Missile gets the crawler. Alright, Steelsane's forces a little disjointed. So that big fortress is taking a little bit more time to enter the battle. But good lord, just two shots it. Oh. Oh. Good lord, the orange fortress. I guess the question here for Sauron is, do you have to bail on your own forts and get into Melter? Ooh, no air scam this round. Might just force the dark one into Melters. Yeah. Yeah. Like, I don't know if you can keep up, but I guess it depends on whether or not Steelsane decides to sell out of that fortress and keep going with the money machine. Alright. Sandworm, probably not the play for either player unless it's a sell. Feels like there's too much DPS on the board. Yeah, Sauron selling the Sandworm. Raiden coming in for Steelsane, just a sell. So, holding on to the big fortress this round makes sense. I'm expecting intensive and a sell next round, or maybe you just keep it. Like, this big dude is doing work. Yeah, the rest round was a lot closer than I was expecting it to be. I thought Steelsane would have a little bit more damage on the board at the end. Badger to answer the mid flank. I like this Wraith coming in. Okay, Sauron has decided to stick in the fortress line. Beaconing in the red boy, no more distractions. Very dangerous, and we have an oil coming out. Ooh, how much does that get blocked? Because it's coming left to right. I think this shield will just cover all this, and that's an unfortunate one. We're very fortunate if you're Steelsane. Yeah, just barely. Just barely. Alright, rank 2, Overload Fortress for Sauron. Got through that shield. Trying to get through the Badgers, but God, this level 3. Just smash them. I think this is a... Oh. Hang on, there's only a few Mustangs left and one marksman. But this Wraith from the bottom right just got stuck chasing the fortress. There we go, bit more damage from Steelsane this round. Alright. Oh no! Another intensive! Oh no. Sell one rank 3, get another rank 3 for free. Oh no. Oh no! Well... That's game, right? Like... There's A from the fortresses again. Just to fight the mass-produced Wraiths. May as well, you know. There's a rank 5 marksman as well. Smoke coming in. I think I'd like to see it a little bit more on the left, but still, not bad, not bad. But you have to think, without anything... These are only the rank 1 fortresses. Maybe the rank 2 Overlord boy has enough to get some work done here. Scared for Sauron here, man. This Wraith not answered, though. It is only rank 1, so it's not... And mass-produced, so it's not going to get the tower the fastest. But we'll get it. The question is, I don't think this board survives in the meantime. Okay, extra fort, range on the forts. They at least have a chance, I guess. I don't feel, I don't hear confidence in my own voice. Sell the wall, level the fort. Works. Alright, they got it. Nice little smoke coming down. Gonna be a major range discrepancy. Pulling the fortresses back. Great move by Sauron. You want to actually make use of that range since you've got it. Oof. One fort falling. Okay. Sauron's fort's doing some work. Wraith is starting to plink away at the tower. Has Sauron managed to stabilize? This rank 3 fortress is still just slowly moving forward and declaring its presence loudly. But if that's all that's left on the board, there is a debuff. So it cleans up the ground. And it should be able to finish off this Wraith. And this is a... It's still 350 damage, but a much more marginal win for Steelsane than you might have thought. That beacon, saving those fortresses, was a smart move by Sauron. Doesn't matter if Sauron wins a round, they're down infinite econ. I'm really... The only thing that's kind of keeping me hopeful for Sauron at all is they're gonna have a level 3 of their own. They have a bunch of level 2s. They have the better Fort v Fort techs. Steel ball picked up for Steelsane. Looks like they are keeping both on the board. They sold their rank 3 fortress and got out of it. What is Sauron's play here? I like the Phoenix. Just put the Phoenix on the line, maybe? Although, Fortress AA, that feels really scary. Dude needs to do 3,500 damage for someone with Stonk Box and 2 training. Oh. Yeah. It's a rough one. Oh, what did he pick? Ooh, Flameo Hotman with the Incendiary Bombs. Okay. I don't mind that. Bit more chaff clear. Wraiths are dying a little quicker than you might like. This one's staying alive just because it's further away. Level 2 there. Still just a level 2 tower. Ooh. Clicked the oil. Changed their mind. Oh, no, they did click the oil. It's still there. It's going there. That should get lit, but like there's not much to burn. I guess the Void Eyes. And it'll take a little bit. Alright, Wraith making its way into the tower. Still just the level 1 against a level 2 tower, so going to take a while. Fortresses blasting at each other, and you know what? Who needs text when you have money? Good lord. Is that game? That's game. Good lord, okay. Alright, that's it. Well played, Steelsane, and a very convincing 2 over Sauron. We have Group A determined. So we have Cursed getting through in the upper bracket, winner's bracket, and Steelsane getting through in the loser's bracket. And they are our first 2 top round of 4 players. Next week, Sunday, November 30th, we will be casting the round of 8, Group B, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, 5 p.m. Moscow time with Narayan, Faduk, ICAD, and ICD. That should be a fun time. I hope to see you guys there.